Hi everyone! In this video, I'll share with you the criteria for the DEPED ranking for both elementary and junior high school. I specified it's for elementary and junior high school because there's a separate criteria for the senior high school. So let's begin. There are 7 components. We have education, 20 points, teaching experience, 15 points, LET or PBET rating, 15 points, specialized training and skills, 10 points, interview, 10 points, demonstration teaching, 15 points, and communication skills, 15 points. Let's briefly discuss each one, and we'll also have few examples for some of the components. Now, for the education, I think most universities have adapted this grading system or rating system, which is 1.0 as the highest and 3.0 as the lowest. As discussed in my previous video uploaded in my YouTube channel, the requirements for DEPED ranking, you need to obtain your general weighted average or a certification stating your general weighted average when you process your TOR, because your GWA will be the basis for the points. Now, if you obtained a perfect score of 1.0 or perfect average of 1.0, the equivalent point for that is 18 points. You might wonder why 18 is the only highest when in fact for education that's 20 points. There's an explanation for that. Now, if you have a master's degree, then you will be given plus 1 point. But if you have a master's degree plus or and a doctorate degree, then that's plus 2. That is why you'll get a total of 20 points for education if your average is general weighted average is 1.0 plus you have a master's degree plus you have a doctorate degree. So that's it. Now, for applicants with non-education degrees, you will be rated using your GWAs or general weighted average in your baccalaureate degree and 18 professional units in education. Now, what if your school or your university do not adapt this kind of grading system like this one? 1.0 and 3.0 like that, meaning they adapted the traditional grading system like the percentage rating. So there's a transmutation table. For example, your grade is 93, so it falls between 92.75 to 93.75. So your transmuted general weighted average is 1.5. Now, since you are able to obtain, or since you're able to obtain your GWA based from this transmutation table, then you'll go back to this table. 1.5 is equivalent to 15 points. So you'll get 15 points for education. At least you now have an idea as to how you will compute your partial score. Next would be the teaching experience. For teaching experience, that's 15 points. However, you have to take note of the computation. For every month of service, that's 0.15 point. For example, you obtain or your teaching experience is 8 months, so you'll get 1.20 points. If your teaching experience is a total of 10 months, so you'll obtain 1.50 points for that. Again, you'll get a total of 0.15 for every month of service. Now, take note that the highest possible score that you can get is only 12 points for teaching experience. Why? Just like the education, there's a special scenario or special case for that. Here, if you are a kindergarten volunteer teacher in your barangay or KVT, and if you are an LGU funded teacher If your experience is less than 2 years, then you'll get plus 1 point. If your experience is more than 2 years but less than 5 years, so you'll get plus 2 points. And if your experience is more than 5 years, like you were a volunteer teacher for more than 5 years, then you'll get a total of plus 3 points on top of your experience. So let us say you work in a private institution for, let's say, more than 10 years, and then plus you have these experiences, so more than 5 years of experience, then you'll obtain a total of 15 points. But if you're not a volunteer teacher and you're not an LGU funded teacher, then the highest possible score that you can only obtain is 12 points. Next is your LET or PIBET rating. So let's talk about PIBET rating first. On the right side, so if your score is 82 and above, 15 points, 79 to 81, 14, 76 to 78, 13, 73 to 75, 12, and 70 to 72, that's 11. Now for LET rating, if your score is 87 and above, that's 15, 84 to 86, 14, 81 to 83, 13, 78 to 80, 12, 75 to 77, 11. So I think you now have an idea as to what's your partial score, how you can compute your partial score for the ranking. Next would be the specialized training and skills. That's 10 points. If you'll present a certificate directly issued by TESDA, like if you have trained directly from TESDA, that's automatic 10 points. There's no need for you to demonstrate the skill anymore. However, if your certificate is only issued by a school accredited by TESDA, then you must have a demonstration of the skill you have obtained or gained from the school. So again, going back, if the certificate is only issued by a school accredited by TESDA, that's 5 points, provided that in your certificate it's specified that you have trained for 10 days or more. Because just like what happened to the other applicants last year, their certificates doesn't contain the number of days they trained from the school, then they were not able to get any point for that certificate. So be careful. Check your certificate as early as now so that you can contact your school where you trained from if in case they did not include the number of days in the certificate. And then you need to demonstrate the skill you have mastered. And if you are able to successfully demonstrate the skill, then that's another 5 points. Next would be the interview. For the interview, I'll give you a few tips on how you can obtain a perfect score. But actually, the interviewers or the screening committee will have a rubrics on how you will be rated for the interview. Same thing goes with the demonstration teaching. Now, lastly, communication skills. What's communication skill? What is it all about? Actually, this has something to do with your English proficiency test. And I'll share with you briefly how your EPT score will be computed. So for the communication skill or EPT, English proficiency test, let us say when the result was released, you obtained a score of 78.33. So what's your equivalent score for that in the ranking? So 78.33 times 15%. Why 15? Because going back to the criteria, communication skill is 15%, right? So that's why 78.33 times 15%, that's equal to 11.749, or round it up, that's 11.75. So this will be your score for communication skills, 11.75. And that's it. I think you now have an idea as to how you will compute your partial score for the ranking. And I hope you will be able to pass or get a score of at least 70. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a great day.